So this con man is about to scam one of the biggest boy bands on the planet. So the con man's name is Lou, and Lou is 37 when this story starts, and he's living in a couple of different cities in the US, and Lou really wants to be rich. So to make money, he starts renting private jets to celebrities. And one day in 1991, he ends up meeting a famous boy band called the New Kids on the Block. And Lou can't believe that they're flying in a private jet. And so he asks, how are these teenagers able to afford a private jet? And their manager's like, it's the music. They just made $200 million from record sales and another $800 million in touring and merch sales. And Lou's like, holy shit, that's $1 billion. I want that kind of money. And so he decides that he's going to create a boy band himself. One that's going to be bigger than the New Kids on the Block, the biggest boy band on the planet. And in 1992, he starts his own record label, and he auditions a bunch of teenage boy singers, and he picks 5 of them, and he creates a boy band. And he calls them the BackStreet Boys. And he starts working with them, and he hires songwriters and choreographers and a whole team to make them huge. And by 1996, the BackStreet Boys release an album, and they blow the fuck up. Suddenly, they're global superstars, touring the world and selling millions of records. Here's the thing, though. Despite all this success, this just isn't enough for Lou. Lou, he's super greedy. And so he starts thinking, you know what would be better than managing the world's biggest boy band? Managing 2 of the world's biggest boy bands. And so Lou does it all over again, behind the BackStreet Boys' backs. He hires the same songwriters and the exact same team to pick 5 new young guys, and he creates a new boy band, Nsync. And Lou, he showers the Nsync guys in luxury, and he takes them on private jets and to fancy restaurants. He even gets them a house to live in, and the guys are like, wow, Lou is such a nice guy for paying for all this. And he tells them, look how I made the BackStreet Boys. I can make you just as famous. And then he has them sign terrible contracts. And so in 1997, Nsync puts out their first album. And of course, they blow the fuck up too. And he gets the guys to work all day, every day, touring the world, selling millions of albums. Here's the thing though. Despite selling millions of albums and tickets and whatnot, whenever the Nsync guys ask Lou, Lou, when are we getting paid? Because, they haven't really been paid up to this point. And Lou's like, don't worry, a big check is coming. But 2 years go by, with the Nsync guys working every day and they still haven't been paid. Then, one night, Lou finally tells them, come to dinner where I'll give you each your checks. And the guys, they're so excited and they're like, we've sold 15 million albums, we're about to get like $1 million each or something. And so the guys, they walk into a fancy restaurant and they sit down and Lou tells them, all your hard work is about to pay off. And the guys open the checks and they are shocked because they each get a check for $10,000, which is less than what they would have made had they taken a minimum wage job. Meanwhile, of course, Lou isn't paying himself $10,000. He's paying himself tens of millions of dollars from their record sales and their concerts and stuff. Think about that. You're a member of Nsync, one of the biggest boy bands in the world, and you made $10,000 in 2 years? That's like $5,000 a year. So of course, the guys, they're like, nah, something must be wrong. And so they go and they get a lawyer to look over their contract, and the lawyer looks at the contract and is like, this is the worst deal I've ever seen. Lou's getting almost everything. He's paying himself like he's the 6th member of Nsync. Oh, but it doesn't end there. Then it gets even worse for them, because that's when their lawyer drops another bomb. He tells them, not only did Lou barely pay you, but actually, you're in debt. Lou had charged them for all those plane rides that he took them on, all those nice dinners, all those things Lou told them he was paying for. He was actually taking it out of their pay. So now the Nsync guys, they know they've been scammed. So what are they going to do? Well, they decide that they're going to have to do whatever they can to get out of this contract with Lou's shady ass. Meanwhile, the BackStreet Boys, they're still out there making music and being successful, and they are super pissed off that this rival boy band, Nsync, is now topping the charts. I mean, who do these clowns think they are, stealing their thunder? But then, they finally discover the truth. They find out that Lou, their own manager, the guy who created their band, was also the one who created Nsync. Their own manager created their direct competition behind their back. Not only that, Lou had convinced the BackStreet Boys that Nsync hates them. He's like, you know, these Nsync guys, they hate you, right? And he pits one boy band against the other intentionally. He had intentionally created a fake rivalry, believing that it would generate more publicity for both boy bands. Plus, if both boy bands hate each other, then they'll never get together and discuss the bad contracts that he put them in, and he can just keep scamming them both for as long as he wants. Until one night around 1998. Some members of Nsync and some members of the BackStreet Boys coincidentally end up at the same industry party. And they meet and they start talking and they discover that they never hated each other. It was all a fake rivalry manufactured by Lou. And the Nsync guys, they start telling the BackStreet Boys about how Lou has been lying to them this whole time. And so the BackStreet Boys, they go back and they start reading through their contracts. And they find out that, yeah, it's true. Lou had been lying to them this whole time. And the guys, they've only been getting paid $12,000 a year, while Lou was paying himself about $10 million a year. And so, boom, the BackStreet Boys file a lawsuit against Lou. But that's not the only trouble Lou is in. Because this whole time, in the background, he had been running a much, much bigger con. He's been running an investment scheme where he'll fly rich investors on private planes and he'll take them on limo rides and he'll tell them, I'm the mastermind behind Nsync and BackStreet Boys. You should invest your money with me. And lots of these people, they fall for it and they give him their money, especially old retirees who are, exceptionally vulnerable to this kind of thing. But the thing is, it's not a good investment. It's all a Ponzi scheme. But then Lou finds out that the Nsync guys are actively looking for a way out of their contracts. And he gets pissed off, and so boom, he sues them for